Yo, 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 what's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. And I think it's T-Love Bullies that came on the page. And this is not a beef post or something, so before y'all make it like that. But I do want to address what he said. And I'm going to knock some of these things out fast so we can get to the big points. You know, somewhere in the post, you were talking about Marco Suarez. Look, Marco is a very good friend of mine. I'll explain it to you since you probably don't know. Me and Marco are very cool. I literally held Mega Bones, Kenji, what's his name, Polar Bear. I tried to steal that female, the Brindle girl. Marco will tell you this. They were puppy puppies. They were like I think 12 weeks. They were tiny, and Mega Bones was just double the size of everybody, which he still looks like he is. But in the same thing, you said Marco went into his bag, and this is why he wanted to use this blood because the breed is evolving. I hate to tell you, look at the old Suarez bulldogs and look at the current dogs. It still has a Suarez look. I talked to Marco, like I said, I'm not a customer or anything. When I go, I'm at Marco's, both of his houses. I'm seeing everything. Me and him sit down. We'll go eat. That is literally my friend, and we've known each other for over a quarter of a century probably. So I know, and he showed me things that I would never tell y'all, but I know his dogs are super tested. He knows what he's doing. He's not trying to go extreme or exotic. What he was trying to do is break up his blood because his blood has been line bred. The problem is, and this is words out of his mouth, you just can't get around Dax blood if you're looking for an outcross now because Dax is in everything. But if you look at the productions that he did, Dax is not up front. These are not Dax sons, daughters, grandkids. They're not even great grandkids. It's pushed further back because as a dog man, he understands I can use this, but I have to. If it's far back, we can work with it. No one's trying to go extreme, and I hate to tell you, if you look at the dogs he has now, and you go back to Paco, he will tell you, and we agreed on this. When you start talking about some of the dogs that he have, they literally look like Paco. He's got a champagne Paco out there. It looks just like the dog. If you don't know how big Paco was realistically 16 inches. Marco might lie about it, but I would bet that Paco went over 90 pounds. Because Hallie got hit 90 pounds, and they were very similar in height. And Paco might have been a hair bigger than her, but he was always buff. He was always big. So look, man, Paco was loaded. He wasn't a small dog. So you thinking that he had to do something extreme to make size? Paco was a big dog. Don't let the pictures fool you. He was a 16-inch dog. He was not a 14-inch dog. He was a very sizable dog. The dogs that Marco has now outside of Mega Bones compare very very strongly to the size of Paco. Those who know. So you're quoting something that you really don't know about because you're going based off of pictures. No, Marco was looking for an outcross, and like myself, I'm in that same boat. I've had to use dogs that have Dax way back in the pedigree because it is hard to keep line breeding, and we know as real dog men and veterans and the guys who's helped start this shit is that all edge blood is pretty much similar. They go back to similar dogs, same dogs, and you will run into problems where we just simply can't always outcross to each other because our dog have a lot of the same genetic makeup. So no, he didn't try to go extreme. Mega Bones, when I seen the boy, and Marco will testify to this, when I seen him, I just kept on like Marco loved him. I was like, look at this shit. He was twice the size of the other dogs. That's what you call selective breeding. Mega Bones came out bigger than the rest of his litter by far. Marco is capitalizing on the fact that he has genetics that makes him superior in overall size. He is the alpha male of that litter as far as genetics go. This is how we made the American Bully. No, he didn't run and try to find some magical pill because if these people had dogs with that type of size, they would push them out all the time. But when they do push out the big dogs, the conformation is gone. The long ass backs, the stiff tight rears, and the breathing issues, which Mega Bones does not have any of this. It's a time for y'all to learn how to breed instead of always making assumptions. Your terms of evolution, you can't evolve a breed of dogs. Either you're doing something different or you're not. Look at Marco Suarez's yard and tell me what you see. Look at the dogs, the new dogs, and look at the old dogs. They're very, very similar. They're very, very similar. What's his name? Wasabi is like a a version of Paco. They're very, very similar. Ask Marco. Very similar in size and everything. Very similar in structure. I was blown away because I kept telling Marco, I was like, shit, this fucking dog is Paco in a different coat. No one, we're not trying to change the breed. We're trying to improve on what's already there. Your terms, evolution, evolution. The evolution has led to dogs who can't function. The evolution has led to severe palate issues, severe heart issues. Dogs that are oversized in the front, skinny in the back, long ass backs. Going to the thing that you said about back, brother, stop believing what you see. You talking about, oh, Denzel had a ski slope back. Do you know who you're talking about? You're talking about one of the greatest dogs of all time. And I'm not just saying that because he was mine. Ron Ramos would tell you, one of the greatest dogs of all time. Denzel never had a ski slope back when he was showing anything. They edited a picture. They made his back really long. They jacked his rear up. If the dog looked that horrible, do you think that he would have won literally every show that he was ever in when he was a serious competitor? Do you think that he would be the first ever dog to win a championship in 2 different registries, a nationals champion? When he won that nationals championship, keep in mind, I was in a fierce beef with one of the owners of the ABKC, and they had to give it to him because he was the best dog there. And he later went on to what, sire almost 100 champions, or I think it was over 100 once you included all the registries and stuff. And the truth of the matter is it was never a high rear in the program that was a problem. I'm not saying we never produced a high rear, but stop believing what you want to. Denzel had very large paws for a little dog that comes from dwarfism, and his paws were splayed some. I didn't like that about him. You know, I like tight cat paws. That was one of his very big issues that I did not like. As far as conformation, he was a conformation king. That's why he made dogs like Castro and Brahman that would later go on to win in the UKC, win in the BBCR, which was very, very hard to win in, and the and the UBKC. We were confirmation people. We don't believe in super high rears and fucked up dogs. I never have. I won't show one. You won't see me in the ring with one. I don't believe in it. But that's to another rumor you said. But the truth of the matter is, when you start talking about evolution, that's a term that Dave Wilson has taught y'all. A breed doesn't evolve. My first show win came over a quarter century ago with a Rottweiler. If I took that Rottweiler, if he was alive, if I took him to a show right now, he would have a good chance of winning. You know why? Because he fit the standard. He was right there at 130 pounds, 27 inches, beautiful mahogany markings where his black wasn't at. The eye set was perfect, oval eyes, the whole nine. He had everything that you would want. Massive head, moved great, stood at attention, the whole nine. The breed does not evolve, especially not in 20 years where it totally changes. You're changing something. The evolution of the breed would be to have the same thing, but somehow it's getting better. Now, I don't know how you do that. Or you could say that. The dogs today, you just don't have, you name some dogs that I never heard of, T-Love Bully, and they're not that, nothing I've seen. This year's national champion literally almost died at nationals. I'm just being real with you. This is no longer an open debate. We are going to start enforcing some things like mandatory DNA testing, mandatory health testing. I promise you, in the TBKC, and I finally got to this point, in the TBKC, I guarantee you it's going to be the American Bully's worst nightmare, because I literally see half to 75% of all dogs being disqualified because they cannot pass a simple health test. Their hips are going to be disqualified. Their cardiovascular is going to be disqualified. There's going to be something that gets them disqualified on their health side. And it's sad that it is this way, but that's what other breeds do. We have not evolved in a good way. We've evolved to destroy the breed as it was. Pokemon was a great example of what an American Bully was supposed to be. Very big ass head. He would dominate these dogs today, but the truth of the matter is that, guess what? People have created the lie that it's all right to have an unhealthy dog, a long back dog, a high rear dog, and call them superstars and call it evolution, and therefore we believe that we've done something better. You've destroyed the breed. There are not many dogs today that can fuck with Hallie at all, or Paco. I'm just being real with you, not even being biased. Peace.